What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video and welcome to your stimulus check update, stimulus package, and infrastructure update and daily news report for Thursday, May 13th. Now, I know I say this quite a bit. I say this almost every single day. However, today it is very true that we have some interesting updates, so I want to get right into it. Here's what we know. First off, one governor is causing a lot of excitement, not only throughout his state, but across the United States as well, because he is going to give five random residents from his state, $1 million each if they have the vaccine. So this is actually causing some experts to look into this, and experts say that having a chance of winning $1 million is going to get more people to want to get the vaccine. We also know another $1,114,000 stimulus checks went out earlier on this week. Experts are saying that this consistent flow, even though it's not a lot of checks, but the consistent flow of stimulus checks is gradually improving the economy. Last night, President Biden did approve a temporary waiver that will ease the fuel shortages here in the United States. We know the new jobless claims came in this morning and are better than expected. I'll address that in a minute as well. Another state joined the other 11 in canceling their federal unemployment benefits a little bit early. We know President Biden will be meeting with Senate Republicans later on today. They will be discussing the infrastructure package and trying to determine where they can find common ground. And we have lawmakers that are urging President Biden to give Social Security recipients some sort of a boost. So, as always, just want to thank you guys for watching and continuing to hit the like button. It really does help out the channel. So let's begin on what is currently going on. First, here's what I want to address, because obviously, the first thing in the title, win $1 million, right? Everybody wants to win $1 million. Well, now you do not even have to buy a ticket. It's not a lottery. Yeah, you don't have to buy anything. All you got to do is go and get the vaccine. Here's what we know. The governor of Ohio, is now going to give away $1 million to five random people that have gotten the vaccine or are going to get the vaccine. So this is going to take place. It's going to start on May 26th. Okay, that's in 2 weeks? Well, today's the 13th, so got 13 days before then, almost 2 weeks. So if you go and get the vaccine, let's say today, tomorrow, sometime over the next week, you can still be eligible. But here's the cool thing. He's not just going to select five random winners on one day on May 26th. No, that's the first day. He's going to select one random winner, and then every week after that, for 5 total weeks, he will select one random winner. So let's say you already have the vaccine. Great, perfect. Now you actually have 5 different chances of being selected. If you haven't gotten the vaccine, let's say you missed the May 26th first pick, then you would actually have 4 chances of winning up to $1 million. So, or actually not up to, it is $1 million. So again, that's actually pretty cool. I think that's an interesting way to go about this. But some are saying that this isn't the right thing to do. You shouldn't be enticing the American people to go and get a vaccine. Well, I think that might be what's going to happen is we're going to see more and more states doing this exact same thing. And what I can tell you right now is that experts do believe that more states are going to start to implement something like this, where you can only do certain things if you are vaccinated. For example, let's say you can go to certain sporting events, and there's the vaccinated only section. Right? You can go into those, but you got to be vaccinated. There's other things like, you can go and, let's say, spend time with, a smaller group of friends and family outdoors, and you do not need a mask, right? Those are other things. Now, those are not as exciting as winning $1 million, but, that's what we are currently talking about. Now, I wanted to bring this up because for 2 reasons. One, more states are going to be implementing something like this. It may not be $1 million, but there's going to be more, other excitement behind it because of what we're seeing right now. When we know this, experts are saying that this is what we are predicting to see in the near future. The second reason why is because roughly 6% of my audience is from Ohio. I didn't even know that, but about 6% are from Ohio. So, I'm glad to bring you those updates as well. Now, in regards to the $1,400 stimulus checks, because this is something that we've been seeing over and over again, is what are we going to see? When are we going to have some type of guarantee that yes, it's coming, or no, it's not? Here's the issue. Right now, some are saying that the IRS is still sending out batches of checks. They sent out another 1 million checks this week. About 500,000 of those are going to be direct deposit. The rest will be paper checks, so it's about 50-50 there. Some are going to people that are homeless, and that's a big thing as well, because that's one of the other issues is people were evicted from their homes. They didn't have a place for you to actually send a check. Now states are going to start to send out these payments, so that's going to be good news there. We also know that right now, like experts were saying, is that gradually sending out these checks, in which the IRS has been doing, if the IRS can do this in small batches, but do this with a fourth stimulus check, that would actually improve the economy much greater. And they say this because if we see just a huge spike in the amount of stimulus checks that go out, and there's a huge spike in spending and consumer spending and all this stuff, right? That's great, but what we want to see is a spike and then it plateau. We do not want to see a spike and then come down. So we want to see it increase and then plateau. If we don't see that, that's where the economy kind of struggles, because it's just, all right, everybody gets $1,400 one day, see this big spike, and then it drops back down. That's an issue. Experts are saying that if we could see consistent payments, even though it may not be a payment every month to the same individual, but see, let's say over the course of, 3 months, every single American gets, their stimulus check is just, split up, divided, right? And it goes out evenly throughout the economy. That would be the best thing for us. But we will see what happens. So there are more reports on not only how much should go out, like $2,000, when it should go out, like now, but how it should go out in the sense of let's spread it out evenly, as opposed to just throw it out there all at once and hope, it really does what it's meant to do. So we will see. But now economists are saying that if we could get an additional stimulus check, okay, no matter the amount, that the IRS must continue to just send out payments. President Biden needs to support this. Economists say if there's no additional stimulus check, it's not only going to hurt the American people, because they aren't, and here's the issue with stimulus checks, and this is something I brought up in the past, is a lot of people are waiting for a stimulus check because they are so far behind on payments. And that's months behind. The issue is many lawmakers are saying that we don't need an additional stimulus check, and this is mostly coming from more moderates, but we don't need an additional stimulus check because we've already passed stimulus checks. A $1,400 check just went out on the heels of the $600 check. How can the American people spend $2,000 that quickly? Well, here's the issue. The American people spend $2,000 that quickly because they're over $2,000 behind in bills and debts and other things. And so that's the issue that we're seeing. And right now, lawmakers, or many of them, just don't seem to see that at this point. So we will see what happens there. The other issue is that right now, some economists say that if the economy gets back on track a little bit quicker, and it happens sooner than many people are anticipating, then we might not see a stimulus check. So some are saying that the real tipping point is not going to be in May, it's not going to be in June or July. It's actually going to be in August and September. So again, if we see an additional stimulus check, some economists are saying chances are it will not happen in the summer. It would most likely happen in the fall. So again, we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But what we do know is there is a large number of lawmakers that do want to see an additional stimulus check. The problem is right now that Democrats are facing is that a handful of moderates look at these checks as wasteful spending, especially when we are getting some reports. Now, last Friday was a different event, but when our unemployment rate actually went up 0.1%, that wasn't great, and that actually showed there might be a need for an additional stimulus check. But what we found out today is that the recent jobless claims came in this morning at 473,000 as opposed to the expected 490,000. Now, I want to bring this up because these numbers are starting to make it more difficult for progressives to really push for an additional stimulus check simply because the numbers are starting to decline, which in theory looks great. Like, okay, less people claimed unemployment benefits for the first time this week. Okay, great. But here's what it doesn't actually bring up is that some of the people that are not, actually aren't on this list, the problem is that they have just completely left the workforce, right? People aren't even looking for jobs, which affects the unemployment numbers as well. Some people cannot go and get unemployment benefits, right? So there's a bunch of different issues. So right now, even though it looks like, yes, it came from the expected 490,000 down to 473,000, it looks great, but in the end, sometimes, the numbers don't actually tell the entire story. So we will see what happens, but as of right now, there's a lot of talks regarding stimulus checks, and it's not just from, the media or from, people here on YouTube, it's actually from lawmakers as well. Now, they aren't talking about this in the Senate or in the House, meetings or anything like that, but they are discussing this, according to reports, behind closed doors, through messages, text, email, things like that. So there are discussions. However, nothing has really come forward from it. So until we see more stuff come forward, that's where everything's gonna kind of play off of. So as we get more information there, I promise I will keep you updated on that as well. Now, one thing I do want to address is that right now, Nancy Pelosi has not mentioned stimulus checks. She has talked about unemployment a little bit. And so talking about unemployment and getting back to that, I want to address a couple issues. First, I made a mistake yesterday. Okay. First off, sorry about that. I do make mistakes. I'm human. But I made a mistake and I said that Florida was one of the states that was actually going to be canceling the federal unemployment benefits a little bit early. Now, that is not true. Florida has actually decided to reinstate the requirement that all unemployed individuals must go and seek jobs. So that is one of the requirements that will be coming back, but they will not be canceling the federal unemployment benefits at this time. Now, they may decide to do that in the future, maybe in the next week, couple days, or whenever, but at this time, they have not. So there's actually only 11 states that have decided to do this, but yesterday, a 12th state decided to join in. That is Utah. Utah has decided they will cancel their federal unemployment benefits, and they are stating that the reason why they are doing this is because they currently have a state unemployment rate of 2.9%. They say that only 28,000 people are receiving unemployment benefits at this time in their state. And according to multiple studies, there's anywhere between 50 and 72,000 jobs available right now in the state of Utah. Okay, so 50 to 72,000 jobs are available. Only 28,000 people are still collecting unemployment benefits. So that is where the governor is saying we have less people that are on unemployment than we have available jobs. So every single one of those people should be able to go and get one of those jobs. Very simple. I highly doubt there's going to be a 0% unemployment rate. I don't think we've ever seen that, but we'll see what happens. Now, what we are hearing is that right now, many governors are saying that we have to get out of this cycle. It's a vicious cycle. We've been in it for over a year, and we need to do what we can. Well, this is one of the reasons why President Biden today is going to be sitting down with a group of Senate Republicans. Yesterday, he sat down with our 4 congressional leaders, and they came to the conclusion that yes, there is hope, there's optimism regarding a bipartisan bill, but they have to find common ground. Well, our congressional leaders, they delegate this stuff to the other people in the House and the Senate. And so what's going to happen today is Senate Republicans are going to meet with President Biden. Their goal is to find common ground on both proposals. We know Senate Republicans have proposed a proposal for $568 billion. We know President Biden has a proposal for actually $2.25 trillion or 4.1, depending on what you want to look at. So right now they say the thing that they need to do is determine what is the best way forward on what we can find bipartisan support on and figure out how is the best way to pay for this legislation. Some people say that this is still going to be difficult to pass before July 4th. That is Nancy Pelosi's date that she wants to get this done by. She says we will definitely have a bill before then, so we will see what goes on there. Others say the goal shouldn't be getting it done by July 4th. The goal should actually be getting this infrastructure bill passed before September 30th. That is when we will have many things that will come to an end. For instance, the government funding bill that will have to be renewed before then as well. The good news is that both sides are actually encouraged and optimistic about what is taking shape. So we will see what happens there. And speaking of being encouraged, many lawmakers are encouraging or actually urging, pretty much forcing President Biden to look at what is going on regarding Social Security recipients. Some say that they've only received 1.3% as a cost of living adjustment, and inflation has wiped that away. They say that this group of people is being left out of so many things, and it's really unfair to them. Just the other day, Senator Elizabeth Warren, she stated that President Biden should forgive student debt for all Social Security recipients. Okay, you're probably thinking, well, how does this actually work? Is this just another tactic to just, let's forgive student debt, let's just waive it, right? Well, here's what we know. This is all according to Senator Elizabeth Warren. She stated that there are currently over 8 million Americans over the age of 50 either paying off their own student debt or paying it off for one of their loved ones. And she says, and this is a big one, 114,000 people that have currently are having their Social Security checks garnished to pay for student debt. That is huge. Okay, and so the reason why I bring this up is because right now you're probably thinking, I don't have any student debt, right? I've never had any debt. This isn't going to help me. Why would I even care? Here's the reason why you should care. What we're hearing is that over the past few weeks, lawmakers are pushing for more legislation that would essentially provide the same thing, would essentially provide some type of boost to any Social Security recipient. So it could mean an actual increase to your Social Security benefits, which would be great, right? Whether it's a 5% increase, a $200 per month boost, whatever, just some type of increase would be awesome. It could also increase the amount of money that you can hold in your account. So instead of having a cap or a limit on how much money you're able to hold before reducing your Social Security benefits, increasing that cap or that limit might actually help out a lot of people. This could also mean they could actually go back to work in some cases and still receive their Social Security benefits. We also know it could be something like, how about just less money for medications, right? It's cheaper. You don't need to have $100 for your medication. It's going to cost you $25. That's going to help out a lot of people. It could also mean student debt forgiveness, forgiving some of this loan that you may have had for years and years. And then there's other options as well. But what we are hearing, and the reason why I bring this up, is because we're now starting to see that more and more lawmakers are pushing for some type of relief for Social Security beneficiaries. So that is the good news there. And speaking of more good news, President Biden late last night decided that he was going to approve a temporary waiver of shipping requirements. Now, a lot of people don't know what this is, and I had to actually look this up earlier on this morning. But what we know is under the Jones Act, and this has been around for centuries, I guess. It requires that in order to ship fuel, first the ships must be built in the United States and they must be crewed by American workers. Well, this is something that obviously couldn't be done. So this waiver now allows foreign companies to transport gasoline and diesel to areas where there are fuel shortages. This is actually pretty big. This is good news. Yesterday I stated President Biden said that he would have good news to the American people within the next 24 hours, which he did. It was late last night. So if you are currently experiencing a fuel shortage, first off, don't worry. You do not have to rush to the pumps. Just understand it could take a few more days, but there are currently things going on to fix and remedy this situation. So that is currently what we know right now. Just want to thank you guys for watching. As always, if you could, go ahead, hit that like button. It really does help out the channel. Also, consider subscribing so I can continue to keep you updated on everything that's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one.